What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be looking at a very special pick for the Great League, and that is XL Dolliv. Dolliv evolves into Arboliva. It's one of the new Pokemon that was released pretty recently. I think it's a Gen 8 Pokemon or Gen 9. I don't know. They got the order mixed up, and I'm not familiar with it from the main games, but um, it has a very unique typing in normal and grass. And so when I saw that typing, I thought, you know what? Um, Normal double resist Shadow Claw on Feraligatr, and grass resist the Hydro. So how good is this thing, and what's its stat product like? So I took a look into it. It's got a pretty decent stat product, especially I have the rank 6, which is really cool. And I built that all the way up to 1500 CP. Um, and you can see in the matchups against Feraligatr, I mean, it wins in the zeros, which means even if Shadow Feraligatr lands an Ice Beam, you still win that matchup. Um, it wins in the even ones and the even twos, and you even win in the 1 to 2 shield scenario for Feraligatr using 2 and you using 1. So that is how strong this Pokemon is into Feraligatr. So let's take a look, because those Feraligatrs are absolutely everywhere, and see if we can trap them on our Dolliv. So we're pairing it with an Azu and a Sandslash in kind of an ABB style team. First match right away, we find that Feraligatr. Obviously, we can't switch because our Sandslash does have a bad matchup here. So we're just going to play this out. It's not a terrible matchup for Azumarill, but it is a negative matchup. Them going straight Hydro with the neutral Hydro with the resisted Hydro Cannons and the neutral Shadow Claws. There we go. They can actually win this matchup if they invest shields. So I'm not going to let them take any shields from me. We're just going to go down shields, grab as many as we can, and then we're going to come in with our Dolliv to clean them up. Which is not how you should play an ABB style team, by the way. You'll notice in these matchups, I play the matchups pretty poorly, actually, and I don't tend to swap. It's not how you should play this team. You should be getting into that Dolliv. I unfortunately do not call the bait here, so now I'm going to have to let this Ice Beam go, and this matchup is already looking really rough. But they're actually just running Crunch, and then they come in with Guzzlord. This first matchup, I do have Shadow Claw on. I eventually switched that to Powder Snow later, because in the current meta, I think Powder Snow just has a lot more play. And because we have two other answers in the front for Alligator, kind of, I felt like we didn't need the Shadow Claw. The only matchups where it's kind of useful is Dewgong, but we haven't seen a ton of Dugongs. They will come out a little bit more as the season progresses, because I think Ice does have a place in this meta. And we actually both go for the simultaneous catch there. They come in with their final Pokemon, which is Azumarill. So I'm just going to tie them on their Ice Beam with the Seed Bomb. And while this matchup plays out and I shield this, I'll explain why it's an ABB style team. So both Dolliv and Sandslash take super effective damage from fighting and fire. Obviously, Sandslash takes double super effective from both, which is why Dolliv is our safe swap. And that is why it lets us draw out either that fighter or the fire, and then we can sweep with the Sandslash. Azumarill punishes both. It's good against fighting and fire with the water and fairy typing. And we actually are able to take this first match because they were forced to throw their energy if they didn't want to be taken out by a magical leaf in that matchup. Diggersby. So this is another pretty good lead. We've got the super effective bubbles and the super effective ice beams. They will get off the scorching sands before we get off that ice beam. And they do not get the debuff, which is huge for us, because now we can just go straight for the ice beam, making sure to throw in good timing, of course, and they shield. So they're obviously going to fight for switch here. I'm going to let another Scorching Sands go. I know this is non-lethal. We saw how much the first one did. It did hardly anything. And now we're going to make it to another Ice Beam. At this point, I should probably be getting into my Dolliv, right? Because both of my back Pokemon have a pretty good matchup. We just have to shield either the Fire Punch or the Scorching Sands. But I actually just let them take me out here. And I actually get to the move which is big because this means I can force alignment, and we actually go, they go down a shield and lose switch, so that's actually pretty big for us. And then they come in with Mantine, and that is on Bullet Seed, so we can just come in with a Sandslash, and they resign the match. But yeah, you should be swapping into that Dolliv to check for that Pokemon in the back. Of course, this is a scenario you don't, because you found that Pokemon on the front. They're actually staying in this matchup with Pangoro. They have nothing to throw here. Close Combat and Night Slash, both resisted. I'll let the Close Combat go. That does absolutely nothing to Azumarill. They go for a Play Rough catch, but I'm actually just throwing the Ice Beam. They lowered their defense, so there's no reason for me to go for that Play Rough. And then they come in with a Bomb of Snow. You can see we're on that Powder Snow. And everything is resisted here. I probably could survive 2 energy balls and go for the full farm down, but I did decide to throw that energy just because I didn't want to take any more damage. This does unfortunately give them more farm. I didn't think I could make it to 2 Ice Punches here, so I just go for the harder hitting Drill Run. They shield that up and then they get the full farm down, which is bad because Pangoro up energy can be scary. Fortunately, we do have a wall in Azumarill to it, so even when they go for another Close Combat here, we saw how much the first one did. I can take it very comfortably. They go for the Night Slash bait, either that or they were fishing for the boost there, the attack boost, but they don't get it. And then they go for another Night Slash. So I'm not sure what my opponent is doing. They come in with Gastrodon. I should not be throwing this move. I should just be getting right into my Dolliv. It is such a overwhelmingly strong matchup here. They're not even going to get to the Earth Power though, because I did make that chip. And Cardiac Chop's not a very hard-hitting move, so they can't really farm me down before Magical Leaf gets the farm down there. So they just resign the match. Sandslash. So this is our first core breaker in the lead. Obviously, they're on Powder Snow, so this matchup is a little bit better for us. We are going to farm up as if we have the Hydro Pump, but obviously we don't. They're going to go for the Drill Run. We know 2 Drill Runs are non-lethal, and they are not going to be able to farm us down because they're on Powder Snow. They shield, they respect the Hydro Pump, which is good for us. So now we've grabbed a shield in this matchup. I will throw immediately after they get up this Drill Run, not risking going for fast move timing and then getting off another move. And that way, that puts them in farm down range for whatever wants to come in next. Once again, I'm not switching out, but this time I can't just because they have a core breaker on the lead. And then they come in with Marowak. Marowak obviously just Bone Club and Rock Slide. It doesn't even look like they farmed up to the Rock Slide, so I'm just going to let this go. Yeah, just a Bone Club there. And so I'm just going to go for the full farm down, and once again, they're only going to get to another Bone Club now. So they have to throw that Bone Club, and we're going to get that full farm down. Actually, really close to the Mud Slaps. Those are doing a lot of damage for being resisted. Dolliv does have a pretty good stat product, but just that the Shadow Mud Slaps do a lot of damage. And then they've got another Mud Slap user in the back, and in Gastrodon. We should have waited for the catch there. They end up getting the catch onto their Sandslash. I am just going to get that Magical Leaf off. I've got 2 shields, so they would have to get the full farm down. So we are going to get that Drill Run. We get it off, and now we just go for the Powder Snow farm down before that Mud Slap registers, and we still just barely take that game. And that was a 5-0 set. I believe that was only 4 videos that I showed, but there was a 5-0 set very, very early on. So this team was really strong. And now we see a Dewgong. So this is where we miss the Shadow Claw. I am going to call this bait because I can survive 1 Drill Run. And if they bait, that's huge for us. If they don't, they're not going to farm us down because Ice Shards are double resisted on that Sandslash. And I believe I can make it to another move before they make their next move. Even an Icy Wind will not take me out from this range. So I am going to let this go. That does mean I'm giving them switch. But I think I can go for a very aggressive bubble down with my Azumarill and come out with a lot of energy, because Azu energy can go to a lot of places that aren't named steals. So we're just going to let this move go, probably just another Drill Run. It is another drill run, so now we go for the full bubble down. What wants to come in? And it's a grass type in the back. So this is actually huge because winning switch would have done nothing for us there. Having this extra energy and the shield advantage is actually way more important for us. They are going to get off the frenzy plant here, so I have to shield this up. They don't bait, which is good for us. Now we're going for that ice beam. Now, will this connect? No, they're going to double shield. So now I'm going to go for the ice beam again. Looks like they're not going to throw. Maybe they were being wary of a catch. Ice beam, get that off. We're staying in now just to force their energy. Our Azu has done what it can do in this matchup, and it's no longer useful. I should be coming in with my Dolliv here and not just getting farmed down. Once again, not really sure what I was doing. I was tired. And then they come in with their Marowak. They once again don't farm up to the rock slide. Maybe Marowaks are just unfamiliar with Dolliv's typing, but I don't want to take another one, so I will throw before they get off their next. Unsure about who wins CMP there, so I throw one before, and then they come in with their Superior. They are in Seed Bomb range, so I'm just going to go for that Magic Leaf into Seed Bomb combo to take them out, because they were not at 2 moves there, and we had the shield loaded. So another win. Into the next match, we've got Jumpluff on the lead. Now this is also another core breaker because this beats our lead as well as Dolliv. Fortunately for us, Ice Beam is double super effective here, so this is actually not a terrible matchup for Azumarill, and it looks like we might be able to survive 2 energy balls. I'm not sure though, because with the Fairy Wind buff, I'm not sure if we can still survive it. For some reason we don't throw when we get to the Ice Beam there. Maybe we're worried about a catch. And they do go for the energy ball, and we live with 1 HP, but then they make a really nice catch onto Feraligatr. But now we get to see Dolliv into Feraligatr. That's right. And we've seen now that an Ice Beam does not KO on the matchups. Look at that. And look, they cannot get the farm down. They don't even make another move. Dolliv in the zeros, just farming down that Pokemon. Obviously, we can't do anything against that Jumpluff, so we have to come in Sandslash here. Fortunately, they let me get into a bunch of Powder Snows. I can live whatever they throw here. And it's just an Aerial Ace, and then they've got a Quagsire in the back. So now this is just about the desynced timers, getting off moves, and grabbing shields. If we can shield this up and then grab that last shield, snipe with a Seed Bomb, then we've won this game. So we're going to go for the Ice Punch. This should grab the final shield. Will the switch timer be up after this is thrown? Looks like just barely, and we get the Seed Bomb off while they're in the middle of their animation. This takes them out. We may as well go for the Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb double resisted here, but Earth Power is triple resisted, so it's the only move we can go for. Now this comes down to a bait because we are in Energy Ball range. If they go for the Aerial Ace and we shield it up, it's game over. But they full send the Energy Ball. Can we outpace to the Ice Punch? We can. So they resign the match. That was a really close game. And that came down to a 50-50 call, which is crazy. But into the next match, we've got Azu into Dewgong. So another kind of core breaker for this team. Obviously, Drill Run hits super effective on Sandslash, and Icy Wind and Ice Shards hit super effective on Dolliv. So we kind of just have to stay in this matchup. We are just going to play it out. We're going to go for this play roughs. They're just going to go for the Drill Runs. I believe Azu wins zeros here. I could be mistaken though. I guess we're about to find out because I don't think I commit any shields in this matchup. We shall see. Dewgong obviously does have the pacing advantage. And it looks like they would win zeros just because I can't make it to another move. Drill Run probably will not take me out. Okay, so this is the time I actually swap into Dolliv. And if they went for a Drill Run blind, then I've caught a resisted move, which is huge. And then they come in with Wigglytuff. I believe Earth Power does a little bit more damage here, but I thought I could maybe get to 2 Seed Bombs. And they just let that go. And unfortunately, it looks like I'm not going to get to another move. I'm 1 fast move short. But we did get that Wiggly pretty low. We can just come in with the Sandslash. Everything is resisted, and because we don't have Shadow Claw, we can actually just go for an aggressive farm down here. They should only make it to one move. They go for the harder hitting Disarming Voice. I'm surprised they're even running Disarming Voice over Swift. And then they come in with Feraligatr, but they make a Peekaboo catch onto their Dewgong, which is a really nice catch. But then we go for the catch in return, and it looks like we got that back, which is massive. Because now we can let this go. And can we make it to a play rough? No, so we have to settle for the Ice Beam. We need to grab a shield here. My opponent was counting perfectly, and unfortunately it looks like this is going to be a loss. We cannot make 3 moves here, so they get the full farm down with Feraligatr, and my opponent takes that match. A Dragonite in lead, Shadow Dragonite. This is a good lead, obviously. They come in Dunsparce. I go for a drill run catch on my Dolliv, but it was unsuccessful. I don't have any like obvious answers to Dunsparce here, so I do have to just come in with the Dolliv. Obviously, Rock Slide nerfed, so we can easily survive 2 here, and it's very non-threatening. But we are going to farm up, and then we're going to CMP tie them onto their next move. And if they shield this up, we can also shield this up and then CMP tie them onto their next move. And we're just trying to grab shields in this matchup. And if we can get this final shield, that'll be huge because we do not need switch. But my opponent actually lets that go. And now it's a 50-50, but we don't care because both of our Pokemon do well into Dragonite. And it's the Azu into Dragonite. They switch into Azumarill, but now we're up energy. So this is just a one matchup. There's nothing my opponent can do. We will have to unfortunately watch this very slow matchup play out. It looks like I win CMP there, which is crazy because I have a 0 attack on my Azumarill. Whether that was either my opponent probably has a 0 attack Azumarill as well, and that was probably just a coin flip. But yeah, very impressive stats. Enemy Azumarill. I can let this go, obviously. Once we get this play rough off, they will be in farm down range, and even if they choose to shield, their energy is going to go absolutely nowhere on my Sandslash. And as soon as they let that go, I know I've won this match. Even if they take me out here, my Sandslash will just come in, Powder Snow down the Dragonite before they can make 2 moves, and they resign the match. Into the next match, we've got Malamar. Malamar is obviously, everything is resisted here if they're on the typical moveset of Foul Play Superpower, but after the Psychic Cup, I would not be surprised if it's on Hyper Beam. So I bait with the Play Rough, bait with the Ice Beam after building up to a Play Rough, and I'm actually going to respect the Hyper Beam here. This is a mistake because Hyper Beam will not take me out, and they actually bait with a Foul Play, which tells me this is a Hyper Beam. I know I can live this, and I'm going to try and probably hold my energy expecting a swap, and I do. They come in with Toxapex, so I match with Sandslash. They can only go for the neutral brines, and brine is a pretty bad move, whereas Drill Run will 2-shot the Toxapex. So we'll let the first one go. We will outpace the next. We were a little bit slow on the swap, but they actually go for a double resisted Sludge Wave Trainer. That is not the right move. We CMP tie them when they make it to the next brine, and we take them out. And now it's that Malamar. So we're going to get off that Drill Run. They should be energy dry here, so I wouldn't be surprised if they let this go. We farm down with a Dolliv. What is in the back? It is a Carbink. So we're just going to go straight Seed Bomb here. And just shield everything because these Magical Leafs will add up. It's not the fastest charging move, but it charges fast enough and does enough damage that it will be threatening to the Carbink and help us take it out in 2. So we just need to make it to 3 moves here. And even if we don't, and they take us out, then we will have a Drill Run ready to go. I think I get fancy here and try to go for the Azu catch, and I'm unsuccessful. But now I can just come in with the Sandslash and get the Ice Punch off to take them out. They were scared to throw a move. They had to double up there. That was kind of their only win con. And obviously Carbink is slow on the charge and does not get there. Into the next match, Feraligatr on the lead again. Once again, this is a pretty neutral lead, but it is slightly negative. Let's see if we play this a little bit better, if we get out a little bit earlier. They're obviously just going to go for the Hydro Cannon. This is where we go for the Play Rough. Let's see if they shield this and fight for switch the same way. No, this one lets it go. So that's a little interesting. We can live another Hydro here. They will need to use 2 to take us out. And then they will not be able to make an Ice Beam. So I come in with the Dolliv. That's 2 Magic Leaves that go through, so that will KO. And this can only be a Hydro Cannon. So goodbye Feraligatr. What do they have to answer? Clodsire in the back. The Clodsire Feraligatr core is absolutely everywhere. And Dolliv does decently into it because look at that. Earth Power, super effective coverage. It does over 50% on the Clodsire. And they're forced to throw because I'm going to make a Seed Bomb that would nearly take them out. They expose their cheaper move there of Stone Edge. So they're on Stone Edge, Earthquake. I can just come in with the Powder Snow Alolan Sandslash and go for a full farm down, shield up the Earthquake. They will not make a second move here, so they bait with the Stone Edge for whatever reason, and then they come in with Rapidash. Obviously Body Slam's resisted. The only thing they could run here that would be super effective would be High Horsepower. I do bait with the Ice Punch first, and now I'm going to go for the Drill Run. And then I believe I go for the catch of the High Horsepower onto my Azumarill to add insult to injury. They sent a Mega Horn, which would have been resisted anyways. And we actually get the farm down and come out with an Ice Beam loaded for the Clodsire. So this game is over, and my opponent knows that, and they let that go. So yeah, that was the team. Azu, Dolliv, Sandslash, pretty simple team. It actually worked really well, as you can see in these matchups. It kind of surprised me. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about the team, please let me know, and have a good rest of your day. Peace.